All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa.
And we are Grams and Pops Vintage, and today we're going to talk about how to handle negative reviews.
Yeah, we got one not long ago, so we're going to talk about it.
Can you hear that wind?
Yes,
That wind is
horrible.
crazy out today.
It's South Dakota. We always have wind.
All right, but as usual, we have a bunch of stuff that needs to go out. It's Monday for us, and that means packing day, or one of our big packing days. So what's the first thing that has to go out?
We sold an ornate brass frame that has the convex bubble glass, and it's a praying girl.
Yep, so it's that one right there. It's got the bubble glass on it. This is a bigger one.
It is.
That sold for how much?
$29.99, and it was not on the store for very long.
All right, the next thing was a set of knives. Tiny little butter spreader knives or something.
Yep, it's them there. They are Marhill Mother of Pearl stainless steel spreader knives with their case.
So that's what they're getting. Nice, easy one to ship.
It's actually buttoned shut.
Now it's buttoned shut. What'd they'll sell for?
$25.99. That was a good one too.
All right, so step one of dealing with a negative review, something Teresa really struggles with, and that is stay calm and assess the situation.
You didn't read it right. It said assess the sitch.
Assess the sitch.
Sorry.
Nice abbreviation.
I saw somebody else use that not long ago, so I thought it would be appropriate.
We're trying to be hip here. Is that the right word? Cool, hip.
I don't know. We're just going to be sus.
This video is going to be fire.
We're horrible. So my initial reaction when we get a negative review
It's
is
the same every time.
my RBR. I do it to Corey, though, my RBR to Corey. But it's like, seriously? We got a negative review?
And then I'm immediately in trouble. And had nothing to do with me, but I'm immediately in trouble. That's the initial reaction. So the right reaction would be to read the review and first decide if it's even a valid negative review.
Yep.
Was it deserved or was it not deserved? And take your feelings out of it. If you have to, go away for an hour and come back and read it later.
Don't take it personal. I do, but don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal. Actually think about the review and see if it was a warranted review or not. Were they legitimately unhappy for some reason? And they had a reason. I mean, a review is just them giving you their opinion of the transaction and the product.
I thought
Is it legit?
I thought it was supposed to be based on the product, not necessarily the service.
No, it's a review of the purchase. So it's the service, the product, it's the whole thing. If you packed it in a greasy pizza box, that's part of the review.
Yep. So we did have a long time ago a negative review from somebody that it was warranted, but to me it wasn't handled right. So we got a negative review for a linen or something that was shipped out to a lady that had a stain on it that I must have missed. I admit I missed it. But instead of reaching out to us, she just instantly left a negative review saying that it had a stain on it and they were unhappy.
See, and to me, that's 100% a warranted review. It's something we missed. It was our fault.
I agree.
Absolutely. And that review we deserved, and that review was going to stand. eBay was not going to take that off. Now, we did just recently have a review that had absolutely nothing to do with us. We listed a Bratz boot, a Barbie boot. And it was a single boot. It's even the listing in the title said single left boot only. It was just for one boot. And it did have value and it did sell. And when they got it,
they were pissed that they got one boot.
They got one boot and they gave us a negative review saying that we didn't handle the situation, which was completely untrue. We offer free refunds. We would have paid for the refund.
Hold on though, a little backstory on that. As soon as he got it and realized it was only one boot, he did an INAD.
He did an INAD on our account, item not as described, which was closed in our favor because it was exactly as described.
Yep.
And then he left a negative review. Even though we offered the free return, he still left a negative review because he couldn't return the product because he said he lost it.
He lost it. So he was upset that he only got one boot and he didn't like the way it was handled and he couldn't return it, because he lost it somewhere in his house, so we were not being fair to him.
So to me and to eBay, that was kind of somebody fishing for a free product or a partial refund, and eBay immediately closed it. So that wasn't a warranted review. So once we took ourselves out of the situation, we weren't mad about it, and went back and actually looked at the review on its merits, it wasn't warranted. And a lot of them can be that way.
Yep.
They're not all deserving, but some of them are. Like some bad reviews are just they had a bad experience for whatever reason. Don't argue with them about whose fault it is. Just read the review for what it is.
Yeah, and I did, for that one that we just got, I did reach out to eBay via chat, which was so super simple versus like messaging them via Facebook Messenger. And just told them, you know, here's the deal. They didn't return it. They can't return it because they don't know where it is. And I don't feel that this is warranted because our description was exactly as it stated. And eBay was like, okay, here you go. We're going to remove it. And less than half hour later, it was gone off our account.
Yep. And that wouldn't have happened had we responded negatively immediately
Yep.
right back to the review saying you're a moron. That eBay wouldn't have taken it down. They would have left it up. So make sure you do step one, stay calm, assess the situation, and then make a plan. All right, what's sold next?
We sold a 1991 BTS International Union of Operating Engineers Centennial Edition belt buckle. You know, I don't even think that says belt buckle in it.
Yep.
It doesn't. Nowhere in it does it say belt buckle.
81. You said 81.
91.
It says 96.
But on the back it says 91.
It was made in 91 for 96?
Let me see that.
100% that says 1996.
1896 to 1996.
Yeah, so what's 91? Where's 91 come into play?
On the back.
I'm just saying, where's 91 come into play? They made a belt buckle in 91 for 96?
It says at 1991. Copyrighted 1991.
All right, so it's a 1996 buckle. I hope they don't send this back for 9N, because that is definitely a 1996 buckle.
But it has 1991 on the back, and that's what I went off of.
See, this would deserve a bad review, and we would eat this one.
Up.
So what did that sell for?
$44.99.
All right, what do we got next?
We sold some makeup. Actually, I don't think it's makeup. It's skincare stuff. But I picked 3 of these up at an estate sale when Corey wasn't with me. My youngest was with me. It's LifeVantage True Science Anti-Aging Cream Skincare, 1.7 ounce in a sealed box.
Yep. It's hard to show you the package because it's in a bag, which will, any cosmetics or anything squishy or liquidy, we leave in a bag. But that's what it is. That sold for how much?
$69.99, and I paid $5 for each one, and all 3 of them have sold already.
All right, step 2, you only really have to make it to this step if step 1 didn't work out. If it's a valid negative review and you're not able to get it removed, step 2 is actually to respond professionally to the review, which takes a little bit of restraint as well, because you're going to be very tempted to argue that you're right, and you can't do that. Well, you can. You shouldn't do that.
I get told as soon as we get those reviews, 1, if it's valid. If it's not valid, request to remove it. 2, if it is valid, that I have to wait 24 hours before I can respond.
Yeah. Teresa, and a lot of people I've talked to actually, if you look at some of the bad reviews they have, they tend to respond in a way that argues their point as they're right and the customer's wrong. Never do that, because future customers, if they do look at reviews at all, they look at the negative ones to see what you've done wrong. And if they see you respond in a way that's not professional, that looks like you're not going to stand behind them, or you're going to argue that you're right and they're wrong, they're not going to want to shop from you. So if you do respond to a review, make sure you acknowledge their issue. Tell them, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, basically. And then offer to solve the problem. Tell them we have free returns. We'll take care of you. Go ahead and file a return. And leave it at that. Don't try to fight your case. It's not a case. It's not a court of law. You're not trying to argue your point.
Don't say, well, if you'd read the description and the title, you would know that it did not include this.
Yeah. So basically, this is just a spot for you to respond as
a
professional and as a business, and say, sorry you didn't like the product, or sorry it showed up broken. Go ahead and file a return, and we're going to take care of you with a refund. That should really be your only response, unless there's something else that you could respond professionally. But that simple response shows future customers that
you're willing to work with them.
Yeah, you're willing to work with them.
Yep.
Okay, if it goes wrong, it looks like he'll offer me a refund. That should be it.
But see, that would make me nervous too, because you just said, if something's wrong, they'll offer me a return. Well, what if it's one of those people who's a scammer person, and they're like, oh, well, if I do this, they're going to offer me a return.
That's fine. We do offer returns. Even if they're a scammer, we'll take your free return and we will relist the product, and then we'll block you immediately.
Yep.
That's not a problem for us. That's part of doing business. I mean, part of our costs is taking returns back, and we know that.
Ooh, I should go block that one guy that just did the boot thing.
Probably should, just because he can't read well. All right, what's sold next?
We sold a fairy. Oh, yeah, she is a fairy. This is our second to the last
That looks like a he.
whimsical, well, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. We sold a whimsical,
It's a
posable,
gender-neutral fairy.
woodland elf pixie fairy. It's 10 and a quarter inches long, and he is silver with glitter.
I don't know. Do boy fairies wear skirts?
Those are
definitely-
leaves. Well, Adam wore a leaf.
Well, it could be. We're gonna stick with gender neutral here. So that's the fairy. These
We've
were
done
out of our buy
fabulous.
in Nebraska. We just grabbed them on a whim, thinking they were kind of different, and they've done well. We only have one left, and that one sold for how much?
That one sold for $24.99.
All right, the next one is a photo album. It's Hello Kitty, and it's definitely aged.
It's just like smushed because it's like shag carpet.
Yep. It's one of the old photo albums you actually put the pictures in. It's got the
Yep.
pages in it.
But it's baby's first photos.
It is baby's first Hello Kitty photos.
Yep.
So that's what it is.
That was remember that one garage sale we went to? And all of
No.
her stuff was super high. We've been there before. I bought the Department
I do
56
know which garage
Lamax
sale you're
and
talking.
stuff.
Yep.
And I saw that and I'm like, oh, I'll get this. Because I felt bad walking away with nothing. But I only paid $1 for it.
So what did that sell for?
$29.99. Full asking price.
That's actually pretty good. That's more than I expected it would sell for.
I'm just good like that.
All right, step 3. Even if you respond to the review, even if you've responded professional and offered to make it right and do the free refund, one step you should do further is to actually respond to the customer via Messenger. Once you know you can't get it removed, try to actually respond to them via Messenger and tell them, hey, we do refunds.
You did it!
We do accept free returns. We'll take it back. We'll get you a full refund, and try to resolve it with them via Messenger so that when you're done, you can ask them to revise their bad review.
Yep. And always do it via eBay. They say, you said Messenger, but I think it's just
eBay Messenger.
eBay messages, eBay chat. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, just send them a message and say, hey, here's the situation. We'll make it better for you. I sound like I'm talking to my kid. We'll make it better.
We're going to fix your boo-boo.
But that way it shows eBay as well, because eBay can see all of your messages that you send. It shows eBay that you are willing to work with them to make it better and to fix the situation versus just saying, screw you.
That's harsh. Yeah,
Sometimes you got to be tough love.
There is a chance, even with a valid review where they're saying, hey, I had a bad experience, if you follow up with them via Messenger and you offer a free return and they refuse or they're unreasonable, you have that gives you an extra opportunity to go back to eBay and say, hey, look, I'm trying to work with this customer and they're being unreasonable and they won't work with me and they left me a bad review. This gives you one more chance to actually go through eBay legitimately and have it removed because they had a bad experience, but they're refusing to have a good one.
Well, and if you are chatting with them via messages, they may say one story in their return to eBay when they open their return, but they could fess up and say something else in that return that makes it not a valid review anymore versus being a valid one.
That's just a general rule of life. If you give somebody who's remotely unscrupulous a chance to talk, they'll almost always hang themselves. So give them a chance to plead their case. Tell them you want to make it right and see what they say. If they start holding you hostage for a partial refund, eBay's almost certainly going to go in and remove that review. So give it, and even if none of that happens, at least give them the chance for you to ask them for the chance to fix it. And then if you're able to fix it for them and take free return, you have footing to ask for a revision.
Yep.
And if you've done good by them and turned it into a positive experience, there's a fair chance they will go in and revise it and say, I wasn't happy with the product, but this guy took care of me.
Yep. And there's the two ways to do a revision. You can do it via messages directly to them, but you can also do it on the review page. You can choose to do a revision, but those revisions, you're limited to 10.
10 what?
10 revision requests.
Per customer?
No. Total.
Lifetime?
I don't know. I just know at the top when you go up there, it says 10 available.
I don't know. Maybe it's on a 90-day period or something like that. But if you're doing 10 revisions in a 90-day period, you really need to self-reflect a little. All right.
Most definitely.
What's sold next?
Next up was something that, just an FY, like half of this stuff, not quite half of this stuff, came from proxy bid.
Yeah.
I do good there.
Well, yet to be seen.
Anyways, this is a vintage Brier horse accessory. It is an all-purpose English saddle and bridle set.
Yep. So one of them fancy English saddles without the horn on the saddle.
I
You
had
ain't gonna
to
do much
Google.
roping from that saddle, but that's it. It's a pretty intricate little saddle for a toy.
Yep, and the bridle, it does have issues, but I did note that on the listing.
What'd that sell for?
$24.99. I need to add that to our listing of resources, how to look up Brier horses.
All right. Next we have little tiny ice skates.
Aren't they adorable? They are so cute. I can't help it. Those I picked up on a whim. They are Bauer. I think
That's not a website. That just means she picked it up just because.
Really? People know what a whim is. They are Bauer Supreme 120 Youth Light Speed Pro Tuck Ice Hockey Skates. I don't know what any of that means, other than they're cute little skates for a little tot to skate on the ice.
Yep. Tiny little ice skates, and we have both of them. We just figured it's easier to just show you one. So that's what it is. What'd that sell for?
$37.
Ice skates. Who knew?
Okay, one thing you should do though, step 4. I guess put out step 4 because we did 1, 2, and 3. Step 4 is preventing future negative reviews. I mean, you can't make everybody happy. So you can't necessarily prevent it 100% because some people just are always unhappy.
That's not true. Who you calling unhappy?
I couldn't help it. But the best thing to do is, go back and if you still have negative reviews that are on your account that you could not get removed, read them objectively, see if there's something you could do to prevent it in the future. Like, the boot one, I don't think I could have done anything to prevent that one because it specifically stated one boot. But maybe you didn't describe something perfectly in your description, or maybe you didn't take a picture of something to show a damage or something like that on it.
Yeah, you just have to be very objective about it. Pull your negative reviews into a spreadsheet and read them. And maybe that was a one-off, and that was that one customer out of 100 that was just not incredibly intelligent. But maybe you get that type of thing where it wasn't what I thought it was 2-3 times, then maybe you're not describing the product right. Maybe you need to put the flaws or the weird thing in the title and let them know. Maybe your pictures aren't good enough. Like, be objective. If you have to, print your reviews out and hand them to somebody and say, what could I do better based on these? And they'll tell you because they're not emotional about it.
Yep.
They're not trying to say, I wasn't wrong, I was right, which people just have the tendency to do. They don't like being wrong. So get some outside input and say, if you read these reviews and this was your store, what could you change? What?
You don't like being wrong.
I don't do it often.
Please.
So that would be step 4. Take a little self-reflection and get some outside input if you need to, but try to use your reviews as a positive to make your business better, so that you could prevent bad reviews. You don't want to prevent reviews, but prevent bad reviews going forward.
Hey, but we had a milestone with reviews the other day.
We had 2,700
2,700 reviews out of, I think we have almost a 30% review rate.
Yeah, we get a lot of reviews. We get our purchase to review rate is pretty high. I think we've sold just over 8,000 products so far.
I gotta look quick.
So that's a lot of products. All right, so what actually sold next?
Okay, so the next thing that sold are very basic.
They're like tin stamped candle holders.
Oh, that would have been a good one to use. I didn't use the word stamped.
That's what they are. They're just like, that looks like a little Reese's Pieces.
So these are, I labeled them as primitive because they're very basic, which primitive is
There's
basic.
actually 2 of them there. You just
are.
can't tell because they're taped together. Well, they're shrink wrapped together.
Yep, I put primitive metal tin oval wall mount candle holder sconce, set of 2.
Yep. So that's what it is. That's what it looks like. What'd that sell for?
$19.99.
There you go. For 2 of them.
We did sell a candle thing that has the spot for a match under it. The matchbox. Corey's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know who would want to put their box of matches directly under an open flame, but apparently that was a thing at
There's
one time.
metal between it.
Well, just on one side.
On 4 sides. not the two ends.
You don't know. OSHA would never have it.
I could grab it and show it to you.
All right. The next thing was a Care Bear.
It is. These came from Proxy Bid too. That is a 1983 Kenner and American greeting cards, Care Bear, brown, Tender Heart Bear.
So Tender Heart Bear right there. He looks in good shape. He's clean. What'd he sell for?
$13.99.
We've done really good with Care Bear stuff.
I know. I have 4 more from that listing.
All right. So I think that's it as far as bad reviews go. What have you guys got for advice as far as handling negative reviews? Like, I think the biggest thing is just don't take it personal. Don't get emotional about it.
It's so hard.
It's not hard.
It's hard.
It's hard if you're an emotional creature.
But then again, I get frustrated when people send me 50% off offers as well.
She takes a lot of things personal with eBay.
It's my job. Oh, sorry, it's not my job. It's my business.
It's my business. So that's all we got today. Go ahead and leave us a comment below. Leave us a good or a bad review for this video. Let us know what you think. How do we do?
Do not leave us a bad review.
5 out of 5 would view again, or 1 out of 5 this was garbage. Let us know.
I can't handle that.
Somebody break Teresa's heart.
If you do, I'm banning you.
No, we don't block people.
I don't block people on YouTube. I don't know how to block people on YouTube.
So that's all we got for today. We do have a ton of packing. I think we got like 30 some packages to go out today.
I forgot to pull our Bonanza orders.
We got to do that.
2 of them.
We're going to get busy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.